just one big story, isn't it?
Hi everybody, welcome to the Story Connection. I'm your host, Donna Wilberg. Today we have a magnificent guest. He's an artist. He is just a really wonderful, wonderful human being. His name is Eddienne Lockhart, and we're so happy to have him on the show today. Welcome, Eddie.
Thank you.
Well, you started drawing when you were 6 years old. So tell us how this began and how you flourished to become the fabulous artist you are today.
Yeah, I started drawing when I was 6. Started at a young age. A lot of things kind of played a role in me kind of soul searching and figuring that I had this talent, I had this ability. One of the biggest roles, of things that played a large part of my life was not having my father around. At a young age, my parents divorced at the age of 3. And never really knew my father. And that led to a lot of soul searching, a lot of trying to discover who I am as a man. And, my mother was always very supportive, always told me I could do anything.
Art on the refrigerator.
Yeah, of course, of course. Always hung my art up. Just a great parent all the way around. But yeah, that really... that heartache, that longing for my father really led to me lashing out in a lot of different ways and really searching for a way to express myself.
So is that when you got into graffiti painting?
Yeah, I had some troubled days where I was just like I said, searching and looking and kind of rolled into a bad crowd and hung around a lot of guys that were in the gangs and things like that. And one of the big thing was tagging, writing your name on something, or, nicknames were big. So it was always, write your nickname or something, just something to mark your territory or something like that. And as an artist, I kind of got really inspired by that. It was a thrill, to sneak out in the middle of the night with paint cans and, find some blank wall to try to express myself on,
Yeah.
And I didn't really do any of the gang tags or anything like that. I mostly did, things that meant something to me, people's names, girls' names, my name, things like that. So.
Well, we have a photo to show, and who does cityscapes in their tagging? I mean, that's that's a true artist. So, were your teachers, were they kind of trying to lead you in the direction of art? Did they kind of, try to take you under their wing and say, Eddienne, you've got a real talent here. You need to pursue this?
Yeah, actually, not all my teachers. I can say there were a few teachers that really, tried to bring it out of me and really tried to give me a different perspective on my art. Some of my teachers, starting in middle school and going into high school, were very robotic. So art was basically, hey, here's the assignment, do this. And I felt like they were putting me in a box and then telling me, hey, this is the boundary, now do everything you can within this boundary. And for me, that wasn't real art. That wasn't real expression. I felt like it was like a prison camp, for your mind. And so those teachers I kind of gravitated away from. I didn't do so well in their classes. I skipped school a lot.
Because you're out busy tagging.
Yeah, exactly. Not to glorify those things or anything like that, but like I said, I was just really looking for a way to express myself and a way to be free.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about some of your paintings, because you've done some magnificent drawings. I just blew me away. So this is one of your earlier ones. You want to talk about that?
Oh, sure. That's a sketch I did while I was at the Art Academy. The Art Academy is what really introduced me into new medias and really showed me that there was more possibilities out there than just drawing cartoons or doing illustration. And it was actually there, I thought I was going to be an illustrator, but it was actually there that I discovered that I was really a fine artist. And school was just a great experience overall, yeah.
Okay, so the paintings that you did, the landscapes and stuff like that, was that part of the program?
No, that was me.
Okay.
When I started drawing originally, you know, my mom was a single parent. She is raising 5 kids.
Oh my God.
And so a lot of the times, my mom was just like, I need some quiet time. Here's a piece of paper, and here's a big pen, and go to town, you know?
Wow.
And so I really started with the pen.
Uh-huh.
And later on, the pen became a quill pen. And so that's what you see there is quill pen work. All that's done with quill pen.
That's, oh my
all
goodness.
quill pen.
My goodness.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Okay, the ladies. Talk about the ladies, the picture of the ladies.
And that's some work also from college. Now, I went to MJC before I went to the Academy of Arts. While I was at MJC, I studied graphic design. And that's one of the pieces. It's a piece done on vellum, and it's the technique called stippling and contour lines. And so that's what you're seeing there.
That was incredible.
Thank
Absolutely
you.
incredible.
Thank you.
Okay, well, you ended up going into engineering. So how did you transfer all that creativity into being sort of a nuts and bolts and kind of a brainiac?
You know, I don't know. It just kind of, it's something that's kind of happened. Like I said, I've always kind of been expressive and looking for ways to express myself. And technology, for some reason, I just kind of gravitated towards. It wasn't until later on that I found out that I came from a long line of draftsmen. So people that were technically inclined. And I think that's where I got a lot of the instinct to go towards computers and to gravitate towards technology.
That's very interesting. Now, does that kind of help you with your work? Because I notice you're so precise with your proportions and stuff.
It does. I think it's the eye. You know, I have an eye for detail, and so I pay close attention to detail. That's what made me a great engineer. That's what made me a great quality assurance engineer. And basically, in that job, I have to find defects in whatever product that I'm working on. And so it directly translates to my artwork, because my artwork, I'm constantly correcting. It's not just like you draw something and it just comes out perfect the first time. It's a constant going back and correcting. And in that process, you know, you get the right proportions. You get but it's a relationship between the hand and the eye. You know?
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. You still have to have, you know, to be able to translate that, you know, from what you're thinking to your hand. We've got some other amazing work here. This one here is is that charcoal?
That is. It's all charcoal and pastel.
Okay.
Yes.
So talk about this one. What inspired you to do this particular piece?
I love architecture.
Okay.
And maybe that comes from my draftsman background. I just always been captivated by architecture, the old architecture, the stuff where it was very decorative and they used a lot of stonework, and I always thought it was just art. I just looked at buildings and I saw it as artwork. I didn't see it as a building or a house or an office space. You know, I really saw it as something like a tree. You know, it was something that it needed to be there. It was meant to be there. It was part of the landscape. And that directly correlates right back into my artwork. I love to do cityscapes. I've been doing them ever since I was a kid. It's just something about the skyline and seeing the buildings there. I don't know what it is, but it's always captivated me.
Wow. How about this one? This is...
That's a drapery study.
Okay. And that was so cool because when I visited Eddie, he put it under a light, and it almost looked like it was floating out of the paper. It was just so darn cool.
Thank
That
you.
was just so cool.
Thank
So, does it take more time and more thought to do a piece like this than it would to do?
It does.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because it's more. You have to get the right shadow, the right tones, and you have to get 5 tones. That's one of the keys to making something look really realistic. Is that in nature, naturally, there are these moments of reflective light and dark cascades, and they're all in relationship to one another. And when you really focus and get those moments right, that's when the magic happens on the paper. That's when you really see, what I call great artwork. When I think about great artwork, I think about Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, all the greats that we know, Monet. And these guys really mastered that relationship between light and dark.
Well, it's certainly your work is so vibrant. It's a light. It does have life to it.
Thank you.
It just pops right out at you. Now, you've been commissioned to do pieces for people. Do you want to talk about that? Some of the work that you've done that was kind of heartfelt and just pieces you were able to present to people that were very meaningful.
Yeah, actually, I tend to draw what I love, and the people that fall in love with my artwork are the people that love what I love, So
that helps.
It does help, and I tend to see that like it's a pattern. Like really, people gravitate towards you because they see something inside of you or something in what you're doing that reminds them of themselves, and I think that is the thing that bonds us and connects us together, even if it's only just for a moment or a small period of time. And to me, that's the essence of this life. That is the quintessential. You got to have that. You got to have that closeness with each other. You've got to have that relationship with one another, being able to translate that information back and forth with one another, because that is what sparks new ideas. That's what gives you the va-va-voom of life. That's what makes everything exciting. It's always when you're starting a new relationship with somebody that you feel the most excited about living.
Yeah. Very true.
Yes.
Very true. And you almost immediately develop a relationship with your work because it just speaks to you.
Yes.
And then you have to talk about it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So,
well,
wow.
I'm not very good at talking about it, but I love to show it, and I love to see people's reactions. And, my art for me means what it means to me, but I want it for the viewer to mean whatever it means to them, and to me, that's one of the magical parts of art, is that everybody has different perspectives and everybody sees something a little different. And that's some of the spice of life that I'm talking about, is that somebody might just see something that you don't see, and they reveal it to you, and you're like, and it opens your eyes up to a little bit more that life has to offer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without getting philosophical about this, when I saw the way you draw people so realistic, it's like, who creates that? I mean, we've got our creator that makes us who we are, but then there's someone like you that can take that magic and put it on paper. And that blows my mind, because it's almost like you're creating all over again.
Thank you.
So it's such a God's gift, that you have. It's crazy. So do you work with anything else besides charcoal? Is this
Yes. Actually, I started with pen and ink, and that developed into markers and color pencil. And it wasn't until I actually got to school that I started dabbling with different gouaches and acrylic and oil painting and charcoal and sculpting. I got into clay.
Oh, wow.
I love clay.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'd
never
love to
thought
see
I
that.
would. I always kind of shied away from it. But it's a lot like drawing. It's really not that different. And like I said, it was just one of those things that changed my perspective. my art teacher said one thing to me. We used to sit in a room in a circle, and there would be a model in front of us, and we all have our stations or whatever. And she came over to me. I was really struggling. I was just like, I just couldn't figure out why I couldn't get the shapes right. And she said one thing to me. She said, Eddie, she's like, it's just like drawing. She was like, you have to look at the contour line of whatever you're looking at. And I said, the lights came on.
And
just that one little piece of information, and the lights came on, because she just told me something I had been doing all along. And I just translated that right into clay, and magic happened.
Well, I haven't seen your clay, your work in clay,
Yes.
but I have seen your nudes, and they are spectacular.
Oh, thank
I don't
you.
think I've ever seen anybody's drawings done with such precision, and they almost you feel their story. You can feel that there's something there. It's not just you're looking at a picture; you're looking at somebody's soul.
Yes.
Which is crazy.
Yes.
And I don't know how you do that, but it's wonderful. It's just super wonderful. So, art is a business like anything else. How are you doing with that?
Like I said, I've just started branching out. I really just started reaching out. Recently, I did a show for Ben Vereen. He had a reception for Wellness Through the Arts program that he's pushing. And it's starting here in Sacramento with Natomas Middle School, Natomas Charter School. And so for the business part of things, I'm really just starting to get out there and get my feet wet. But I've just had a great reception. People are just receiving me and opening doors left and right. So I think the future is really going to look pretty bright.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Thank you.
The buzz that was going on about this picture of Ben Vereen, and what a way to come out of the gate. I mean, we're talking Ben Vereen.
Yeah.
Not only is he passionate about, his own art, but obviously he was passionate about yours as well, and everybody else's.
Yes.
What everybody's doing. So that's just a beautiful program that he's implementing.
I think that's one of the great things about artists is that, or anybody that's creative minded, when you come together with other people that are creative, they just want to help you. They want to help whatever your vision is, and whatever their vision is, you just want to help them, and it becomes this great relationship for spawning new ideas, and it's just a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It's just a beautiful thing.
Well, there was, all this buzz that was going on at the bank, the event, and it was like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? You're amazing.
Thank you.
You are so amazing. So it's wonderful not only to have you here, but just to look at your art with such a treat. It was a real treat, because like I said, I'm still trying to figure out how you do that, because it's so wonderful. Well, we've got a couple more of your sketches that we want to show, and one is of your sister-in-law. Let's talk about that. How hard was that to do?
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. You said my sister-in-law. And
Was that your sister-in-law?
It's
woman?
my wife's niece. So I guess my niece.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
My niece and my nephew.
Okay. So obviously that was taken from a photo?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you pick the photo, or was it?
No, actually, that was another piece that I was doing for her sister.
Uh-huh.
And she asked me to do it, and I did it, and she fell in love with it, but decided that she couldn't frame it. So I've kind of kept it ever since.
Okay. Okay. Well, you've brought one with you to show.
Yes.
If we can grab that, hold that up for everybody. You can talk about it. Oh, so look at all the detail in that. That's just crazy. That's just beautiful. So talk about what the subject matter, what inspired you to do this piece?
I don't know if some people may recognize it. Some people do right away. Some people just think I made it up. But it actually comes from a scene out of Return of the King. In the very beginning of the movie, they're trying to, they're kind of doing a backstory, and they're going back and to the point where they found the ring for the first time, and it's showing like what the effect that the ring had on people.
Lord of the Rings.
On Lord of the Rings,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
And this is that opening scene that you see when the movie first starts.
Okay.
And I actually did it from my TV. I was watching the movie and I was so captivated by the scene that I paused it and I drew it.
Oh.
And the TV stayed paused for about 3 weeks until I finished.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, that's a magnificent piece.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
So, is there anything that you would like to do that you haven't done with your art?
Yeah, actually, I would like to do more painting. Charcoal is really a stepping stone to go into painting, and I really just want to start getting large canvases.
Yeah.
I want to do bigger works, and yeah, just start branching
Besides the
out.
buildings.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I really want to do more landscapes
Uh-huh.
and cityscapes. You know, I want to capture the beauty of American cities. You know, so I really want to do some traveling and do a lot of painting.
Okay. So we've got 5 minutes left in the show. Where can people get a hold of you? Do you have an email address that you can give us?
Yeah, actually, it's eddiennesart@gmail.com, and I'm also on Facebook. It's Eddienne Lockhart, and I'm right now I'm in the process of creating also an Instagram page and a web page to be able to sell some of my lithographs and stuff like that, and some original works too.
Yes.
Yes.
And Ben Vereen, by the way, will be available on lithograph soon.
Soon. In the next week and a half, hopefully.
Because
But the first one's promised in Atonement, so.
there you go. Okay, well, let's give some information about the Story Connection.
Sure.
The Paranormal Connection airs the first and third Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Our companion show, Story Connection, airs the second and fourth Thursdays of each month. Each episode repeats the following Friday at 1:30 p.m. and Saturday at 5:30 a.m. Watch these programs online at the same air times by going to accesssacramento.org and clicking Watch 17. In the Sacramento region, you can see us on Comcast Channel 17 and on AT&T Channel 99. You can find previously aired shows on the Paranormal Connection YouTube channel. For information on upcoming shows and previous Paranormal Connection guests, go to paranormalconnectiontv.blogspot.com. You can contact us at paranormalconnectiontv@gmail.com. And don't forget, find us on Facebook, become a friend, and become a fan.
Eddienne, in the time that we have left, I know you've been inspired. Do you want to talk about the people that have inspired you, and how do you pay that forward?
Yeah, some of the people that have really inspired me is, of course, I have a romantic relationship with all the greats. Like I said, Leonardo da Vinci being one. The reason why I'm so enthralled with him is because he's an engineer. He wasn't just an artist, that he actually built things with his hands. And there's something about bringing something out of your mind and bringing it into the real world that's very magical to me. I think it's an amazing thing to be able to do. And so Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Pablo Picasso, because he's just strange, you know, and he's totally outside the box. He's one of the ones that really showed me that, hey, there's no rules to this. You can do anything you want to do, and somebody's going to receive it. Somebody's going to see the beauty in it. And largely today, I'm more of a traditional artist where I love realism, and I love capturing light and dark moments. And but today, you're really starting to see people branch out and just do outrageous things.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's being received. It's still being received because there's always an audience for it, you know. And yeah.
Well, I'm a Picasso fan.
Yes.
Hands down.
Yes.
I love Picasso.
Oh, some of the other people that inspired me were like Charles Schultz, and I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank on his last name, but Morris. I can't think of his last name right now, but Morris. Turner, thank you. Morris Turner actually came to my school when I was in second grade.
Oh.
Right there in Stockton, California. I was going to school at Claudia Landine, And he came to the school, to my classroom. We used to have a reading time, and he came and sat in the reading time and just started drawing pictures of everybody in the class and telling stories about his life and who he was. And picked me, you know, we were all raising our hands for him to draw us. He picked me, he drew me, because I was very short, I still am, drew me dribbling the basketball between this giant, you know, the whole picture is just these legs. And here I am dribbling a basketball between them. And from that moment, I was just captivated with cartoons. And cartooning was one of the things when I was younger. That's all I did. I draw cartoons, and I draw my own cartoons, and I copy cartoons. And really, it just started from that platform and kind of developed into the more mature stuff that you see today. Yeah.
Well, look at where you have evolved to. And we're going to put up that picture of a piece that you're working on. And I saw it's just this little bitty picture that you've created this masterpiece. It's just amazing.
Thank you.
So, do you pay it forward? Do you teach your girls? Do your girls?
Yes, actually I do. And my girls right now, it's amazing because they started drawing earlier than me.
Okay.
And my little one, Gianna, she dances. They both sing, but Gianna especially has taken to drawing. She literally draws faces and her favorite cartoons, which is My Little Pony right now.
Yeah.
She draws all the ponies, and
the
they
girls are
look
darling.
like the ponies, you
Yeah.
know. And I'm just so amazed that she got it at such a young age, you know. And
that's great.
yeah, they're both going forward,
Good.
and with the arts, I can tell.
Good.
But the way I try to really inspire others is just by showing them my work. I've actually, other artists have seen my work and they come and want to take classes with me, and I just share what I know. You know,
Good.
I'm just really open to sharing.
Well, I hope
everything.
everybody contacts you. We're out of time. I
Thank
can't
you. I'm
believe I
sorry.
knew this was going to go
I'm
fast.
just rambling now.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming on the show, and thank you to my wonderful volunteers
No
for
problem.
showing up today, getting the show in the can, and we love you. So if you have a story to tell, you know, make sure, you know, you contact us, because we're always looking for, you know, somebody out there who has a wonderful, fabulous story like this man right here, Eddienne Lockhart. All right, with that,
you.
we're going to say goodnight.
Thank you.